For centuries, Baghdad stood as the undisputed heart of the Islamic world. It was a city of unparalleled splendor and influence. Founded in the 8th century, it grew into a metropolis that captivated the imagination. Its name, the City of Peace, seemed fitting for a place of such prosperity. Baghdad was more than just a political capital. It was a vibrant center of science, art, and knowledge. Scholars from across the known world flocked to its libraries and universities. They translated ancient texts and made groundbreaking discoveries. The House of Wisdom, the Beit al-Hikmah, was a legendary institution. It housed countless manuscripts and fostered intellectual pursuits. Baghdad was a beacon of the Islamic Golden Age. Its light shone brightly, illuminating the path of progress for humanity. But even the brightest lights can cast long shadows. And on the horizon, a shadow was growing, vast and terrifying. From the east came the thunder of hooves. The Mongol Empire, under the command of Hulagu Khan, was on the march. Their expansion was relentless, their armies seemingly invincible. City after city fell before their might. Now, their gaze turned towards the jewel of the Abbasid Caliphate. The fate of Baghdad, and perhaps the entire Muslim world, hung in the balance. The year 1258 is etched in history as a year of cataclysm. It marked an event so devastating, its impact resonated for centuries. In that year, the mighty city of Baghdad fell. It was besieged, overwhelmed, and ultimately destroyed. The Mongol army, led by the formidable Hulagu Khan, surrounded the city. Their siege engines pounded its walls. Inside, the Abbasid Caliphate, weakened by internal strife, was ill-prepared. Resistance was fragmented and ultimately futile. The city gates were breached. What followed was an orgy of destruction and violence on an unimaginable scale. The fall of Baghdad was a devastating blow to the Abbasid Caliphate. Its 1,000-year reign effectively came to an end. The Caliph, al-Mustazim, surrendered, hoping for mercy. He received none. The Muslim world was left reeling in shock and grief. The news spread like wildfire, carrying tidings of horror. The destruction was absolute. Libraries, mosques, hospitals, and palaces were systematically razed. Stories of the devastation became legends of despair. The Tigris River, it was said, ran black. It ran black with the ink from countless books thrown into its waters. The accumulated knowledge of generations was lost forever. And the river ran red. Red with the blood of countless civilians, men, women, and children, massacred in the streets. The House of Wisdom, that legendary repository of knowledge, was not spared. It was reduced to ashes. Its destruction erased a vast cultural and intellectual legacy. It felt like the end of an era, the extinguishing of a light. The execution of the Caliph al-Mustazim symbolized the complete collapse. The spiritual and political head of the Abbasid dynasty was gone. Baghdad, the once proud capital, lay in ruins. Its fall marked a turning point, a dark chapter in history. The Mongol tide seemed unstoppable. Fear gripped the lands that lay in their path. From the ashes of this destruction, amidst the despair, a new power began to solidify. Far to the west, in Egypt, the Mamluk Sultanate stood firm. While other regions succumbed to the Mongol onslaught, the Mamluks prepared to resist. They were a unique military society. The Mamluks were originally slave soldiers, primarily of Turkic and Circassian origin. They were trained from a young age in warfare and loyalty. They had recently seized power in Egypt, establishing their own sultanate. Their strength lay in their discipline and martial prowess. They watched the events in the east with alarm. They knew they were next. Egypt and Syria represented the last major independent Muslim powers in the region. The Mongol advance had to be stopped here. The Mamluks understood the stakes. The survival of their state, and the defense of the remaining Islamic lands, depended on their resolve. They would not surrender. They would fight. At the forefront of this Mamluk resistance emerged a figure who would become a legend. His name was Baibars. Baibars was a former Kipchak Turkic slave. Like all Mamluks, he had been purchased and trained in the military system. But Baibars was no ordinary soldier. He possessed extraordinary talent and ambition. He rose rapidly through the ranks. His courage and skill in battle were undeniable. Baibars became a brilliant military leader. He mastered tactics and strategy. He had a natural ability to inspire his troops. His presence on the battlefield rallied his men. He was known for his ferocity and determination. His very name struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. Baibars played a pivotal role in the events that followed. He was instrumental in confronting the Mongol threat. His leadership was crucial in the preparations for the inevitable clash. The Mamluk army mobilized under his guidance. The confrontation came in 1260. The place was Ain Jalut, the spring of Goliath, in Palestine. The Battle of Ain Jalut was a landmark victory. It was a turning point in world history. Here, the Mamluk army, under the command of Sultan Qutuz and with Baibars leading the vanguard, faced the Mongol forces. The Mongols had seemed invincible. They had swept across Asia and the Middle East, conquering empire. But at Ain Jalut, their advance was halted. The Mamluks fought with desperate courage. Baibars' tactical brilliance was on full display. He helped devise the strategy that lured the Mongols into an ambush. The Mamluks inflicted a decisive defeat on the Mongol army. It was the first major defeat of the seemingly invincible Mongol forces in open battle. The myth of Mongol invincibility was shattered. The tide began to turn. Ain Jalut saved Egypt and Syria from the fate of Baghdad. It preserved a significant portion of the Islamic world. Baibars' role in this victory cemented his reputation. He was hailed as a hero, a savior. Following the triumph at Ain Jalut, political upheaval occurred within the Mamluk leadership. Baibars ascended to the Sultanate. He became Sultan of Egypt and Syria. His reign marked the beginning of a new era for the Mamluks. Baibars became a symbol of defiance and resilience. He was the leader who had stopped the unstoppable. His reign was characterized by continuous military campaigns. He dedicated himself to defending Islamic territories. He fought relentlessly against both the Mongols and the Crusaders. He drove the Crusaders out of many of their strongholds along the coast. He consolidated Mamluk power across Egypt and Syria. He built fortresses and strengthened the army. Recognizing the need for unity and legitimacy after the fall of the Abbasid Caliphate, he took a significant step. He re-established a shadow caliphate in Cairo. He brought a surviving member of the Abbasid family to Cairo. This individual was installed as caliph. This shadow caliphate provided a spiritual and political center for the fragmented Muslim world. It gave the Mamluk Sultanate added legitimacy. It symbolized the continuation of Islamic authority, even after the destruction of Baghdad. Cairo became the new de facto capital of the Islamic world. Baibars was not just a military leader. He was also a patron of architecture, learning, and Islamic unity. He commissioned the construction of mosques, schools, and hospitals. He invested in infrastructure and administration. He fostered a sense of collective identity and purpose. He sought to heal the wounds inflicted by the Mongol invasion. His reign left behind a legacy of cultural revival and political strength. He rebuilt what had been broken. He established a powerful and enduring state. The Mamluk Sultanate would last for centuries. The fall of Baghdad in 1258 was a tragedy of immense proportions. It was a moment of profound loss and despair for the Islamic world. The destruction was horrific, the loss of life and knowledge immeasurable. It felt like the end of an age. But Baibars ensured it wasn't the end. His rise from a slave soldier to a victorious sultan changed the course of history. His leadership at Ain Jalut proved that resistance was possible. The Mongol tide could be turned back. His subsequent reign demonstrated that even in the face of utter devastation, recovery was achievable. Resilience was not just a hope, but a reality. Strategic brilliance, unwavering faith, and sheer determination paved the way for recovery. History could be reclaimed. Baibars, the Lion of Egypt, proved that even from the darkest chapters, a new era of strength and determination could be forged. He stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of resistance and the possibility of revival after catastrophe. The fall of Baghdad was a tragedy, but the rise of Baibars was a triumph. If you were inspired by this story of courage and defiance, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with fellow history lovers. Pushpin, subscribe to the Turkish Odyssey for more powerful stories that shaped our world, from ancient legends to forgotten empire. Speech Balloon, have a favorite historical figure like Baibars? Tell us in the comments below, we might cover them next. Compass, and if you're hungry for more, check out our deep dive into the Battle of Ain Jalut or the untold secrets of Mongol rule in the Islamic world, linked right here on screen.